Report from LABE wood. LABE wood is a large capacity saw specialising in cutting soft coniferous wood. The enterprise has the most modern sawmill technologies currently available. Processes mainly spruce logs in lengths from 3 to 5 meters. The sawmill officially started commercial production in October 2020. Construction work began in December 2018 and included the construction of its own railway siding. The production capacity of the enterprise is 1 million cubic meters of logs per year. Currently, more than 95% of logs come from domestic sources. Most of the wood arrives at the enterprise by rail transport and smaller part by trucks. The logs are stored with the bark and its quality is maintained, if necessary, by so-called wet storage. Logs intended for cutting are loaded onto 2 input lines by so-called higher lift loaders. On the input line, the dimensions of the logs are checked to ensure that only logs of the required diameter enter the cut. Irregular rhizomes are reduced with a cutter. Reception on the input line takes place at a speed of up to 200 standard meters per minute. Logs enter the sawmill through 2 lines. Every trunk goes through a metal detector. Subsequently, the sections are debarked. The heart of the company is the cutting line from the Lynx company. Before the first processing, each log is turned in such a way that any curvature is eliminated as much as possible. The goal is to achieve the maximum yield of main lumber from logs. The entire process is monitored and controlled from the control room using cameras and electronic measurements. Next, the trunk is processed in several steps, where the wood material is gradually removed with the help of so-called spanner knives. So that the saw blades can then directly cut the finished boards of the required dimensions. The maximum cutting speed of the cutting line is 185 standard meters of logs per minute. Lumber is on 2 separate sorting and packaging lines from Springer and they're divided into main and secondary. It is then impregnated against bluing and storage mold. At the end of the entire line, the lumber is shortened to the exact length, automatically strapped and inserted into packets of the required parameters. Lumber is made to order, and the finished lumber is often loaded immediately after production and shipped on trucks and rail cars. Byproducts of lumber production, sawdust, bark and wood chips, are stored in separate containers, to which they are transported directly from the production line. All the wood chips go on an almost 700 metre long belt conveyor to the neighbouring Mundy Shitty enterprise, a paper and pulp producer. The director of LABE, Radim s.r.o, guided us through the operation of the saw, for which we thank him. You can read an interview with him in the April issue of Prezentace.